Welcome to Jadda's Craft Cottage. Today we're going to do these mini pumpkins. So let's get started. For these pumpkins, you're going to use a fat quarter. A fat quarter is a quilter's term for a half a yard that is cut in half right at the fold. So it's 22 inches by 18 inches. Some sewing thread and needle, embroidery floss, and a needle that can hold the floss, some polyfill, cloth covered wire, decorative leaves, twigs that you can get from the outside, a hot glue gun, and buttons that are optional. First, we want to cut the fat quarter into some strips. This is 6 inches by 18 inches. And I'm using a rotary cutter you can use scissors, but it won't be as smooth. You can cut your fabric wider or shorter, depending on the size of your pumpkin. I decided to cut mine a little shorter. Mine is 15 inches by 6 inches across. I'm going to fold it in half, right sides together, and I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and sew it. Right down the side here, about a ½ inch. I have sewn the edges together with a ½ inch seam allowance and ironed them opened. I have threaded a needle with thread and made it double. And now I'm going to sew about a ½ inch around one edge of the pumpkin. And I'm going to do a gathering stitch where it's in and out all around it. This will start gathering at the bottom here. When you get to the end, we're going to pull the two tails together and make a nice tight area here. You can see I've made it nice and tight around this edge. Now we're going to turn it inside out, and we're going to do the same on the top, but we're not going to close it all the way at this point. I'm going to gather it, but I'm not going to take the needle off the thread yet. And I want to fill this with the polyfill as tightly as we can get it. Stuff it in. Once you have your polyfill in, you're going to gather it again and make it nice and stiff. If you feel like you need more fill in it, just open it up and add some more. Once I have pulled it tight and I have a very little hole, I'm going to stitch it together. Now I've threaded a needle with embroidery floss. It has a larger eye in the needle. And I'm going to start right at the tip, and I'm going to make it go right through. It's a single layer of the floss, but it has 6 strands of thread. And I'm just going to make it so it goes right through here. And I'm going to make the grooves of the pumpkin. When it gets to the bottom where that other knot is, I'm just going to take a little stitch down there and wrap it around to the other side to make it nice and tight. We've come back to the center again. This time I'm going to the sides. Going to go around again. Make sure I can cross under that center. Go around to the top again, cross over and make another stitch. We're going to go around this way, hit the center, sew around it, pull it tight each time, go to the top again, put another stitch at the top, and our last section will go around one more time, go around, make a stitch here, and then go all the way to the top again. Tie it off with a secure stitch. And then snip it right off. Using my embroidery floss, I'm going to sew a button on the bottom of my pumpkin. And I'm going to go from the bottom here and get through a hole and pull it right straight through. I put a knot at the bottom of my threads, and I'm just going to stick it in and just do maybe a couple of stitches just to hold the button on. This will cover any holes. You can see that adding the button just finishes up the pumpkin. This is now the top of our pumpkin. I have cut these fabric wires into quarters of the large piece, and I'm taking this chopstick or skewer and I'm going to roll it around and then just slide it right off. These will go on the top here. The hot glue is ready to put the embellishments on. I'm going to start with these little wires that we did, and I'm just going to put a little glue at the top here and add it right into there. Maybe go underneath the strings. Add the twig in the center. And add some leaves to go around the top. Another pumpkin for your table. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. A day without sunshine is just an extra day for crafting.